Goodbye.
Hello, beautiful people, wherever you are, welcome back. It's also going to back again to the root of today. And here we are, it's one-on-one live coverage. And we're going to be having the last moment here, a little bit here, for a little bit of some couple of weeks. We're going to be leaving the stage here to make sure that everything is just fantastic here. I think the work is already ongoing here and everything is just systematic. So there's nothing is just left vacant at this kind of the point. So everybody's just sorted out and everything is so fantastic here. So we're going to be leaving here now. What's up?
Namba ya Buddha.
Namba ya Buddha. Haya, sitakutumia kwa simu. Si ndio?
Naandika kwa karatasi.
Kwa karatasi. Haya, nitakuandikia. So I'm gonna be leaving a little bit. Bro. Wagwan. Kwani una meza malaria?
Hii ni ya huyo.
Oh, ni mgonjwa. Oh, I see with some medications here. I know that some of the people are not well here. I have the sister, she's here. Hi.
Hello.
Everything is good?
Everything is fine.
Yeah, we are going to be leaving the stage here.
I can see you are already packed. Well
already
packed.
Already packed. Fully equipped.
Packed, yes.
Fully equipped, yeah, exactly. So everything is good?
Everything is good, but you've not alerted us who is gonna leave.
No, the G Castle is gonna be standing on itself. Everybody is sorted out. Everybody. So you will see much of the people marching here. Everything is sorted out.
Okay.
Yeah, right now we have the plumbing. They're just finishing today the plumbing. And we have tomorrow gonna be having finishing the wiring. And also on talk about on Sunday, we're gonna be having the concretion of the other sided area. And they're gonna be handling it every time, everywhere, and how everything gonna be coming. So there's no problem.
I just need one word from you. Just say, Kate, now you are the one to take over.
No, it is taking over of itself because everything is already sorted out. So the only thing, cook for them. Make sure that make sure that food is not a problem. Eh?
Okay.
Exactly. So everything is good. So keep it tuned, keep it locked. Eh?
Sure.
We're gonna be marching again and we're gonna be representing again. So guys, we are going for greener pasture and also looking for a good alternative way of handling much of 2-3 shenanigans and telenovela. And we're gonna be coming back. Eh?
Yes.
Bye.
See you go and say hello to those people who are there.
Exactly.
Tell them we are here to represent them in this other side.
Exactly. Gonna be coming to you live, which is one-on-one, and I'm getting out to this kind of the position.
See, they have to take me to another stage. You see, I'm almost 1,000 subscribers.
Exactly.
Yes, we are moving, guys.
Subscribe, like, share, comment.
To Kate Sigano.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, nikuandikia hapo. Guys, the lady here want the number.
You want the number?
She wanna be calling
for the Buddha.
Yeah, for the Buddha.
Okay.
Let me find it for a better way
to write for her.
Yeah, we have a problem. Yeah, the pen is not writing. Kimberly, the pen is not writing. Here is your number.
Kimberly wants someone who is going to represent her.
Yeah, that's the number. You can read it, eh? Exactly. So guys, everything is so fantastic and we're just marching out at this kind of the time, and keep it tuned, keep it locked, because we're gonna be kicking off right now and representing to the other sides. Talk about we are moving out and everything gonna be coming to you live. Have the border is here already waiting for me to make sure that we're gonna be packaging much of the things here so you can just be leaving the stage here. So before I'm gonna be leaving a little bit here, I have to pass through one of the gentlemen here to make sure that the work is just handled properly here. So to the G Castle here, the wiring is a little bit over, and I have Mr. Sammy is here. Mr. Sammy, yes. How is everything, bro?
Everything is okay.
Everything is okay. So it's just making sure that the plumbing is just handled here, and I think he has much of the foil. We think about going to be cooking here, but we're going to be making sure that he's sorting much of his own issues here, talking about whatever the water, whatever, and there. So everything is good now. So as I'm gonna be leaving, there's nothing of talking about ABCD.
Yeah.
Exactly. So guys, I always sort it out to make sure that everything is just handled, and nobody ever talk about get to left and there's no money behind. No, everything is just sorted out as I'm just leaving this kind of the characteristic point, so you can just meet again at another level. So keep it tuned, keep it locked. Let's meet the journey. It's gonna be commencing right now. Keep it tuned. Let's go and find the greener pasture somewhere. Exactly. Let's go. Guys, I've landed back to this kind of the spot a little bit here. And now I'm in a place called Kisesa, and this is the place that I've been told that I have to a little bit arrive, so that I could just be having much of 2-3 other things that I could be doing at this kind of the rate. And I like this kind of the bus. It has gone very fast at this kind of the rate. And now we are in Mwanza, and I'm gonna be pausing a little bit in Mwanza. It's a little bit late in the evening. I think it's let me check the time here. It's 16:53 at this kind of the time, and we're going to be making sure that we are just heading forward from this kind of the spot, and we're going to be so characteristically good at this kind of the time. And I'm going to be looking for an alternative. Talk about a place where I could just get a little bit place for me to a little bit relax, and I'm going to be checking how the town going to be at this kind of the rate, so I can just know which kind of this place I'm going to be reaching. And I like this kind of at the bus. Vertical safaris here, it's very nice at this kind of the rate. Much of the people are going to be talking about, they're going to be arriving to Tanzania here and taking much of the vehicles from Masirare, whatever, Tarime, and it's one of the best buses that are going to be driving you at this kind of the rate. And you have just landed very safely, and we're going to be progressing to check for 2-3 things, talk about the house and such kind. I want to know the mode of transport. This is a motorbike, is it a bicycle? And I'm going to be checking much of the things at this kind of the rate. And keep it tuned. We're going to be locked in so you can just understand what's really popping out at this kind of time. Hey bro, unafanya boda boda? Okay, nataka unipeleke kwa guest mahali pa kulala. Huko ni wapi zinakuwa? Kulala. Kulala zipo. Wapi huko sana? Wapi huko? Huko maeneo ama maeneo ya bana sijui. Bila mimi. So huko juu kwaje? Kuna maeneo ya kulala hapo. Okay, so guys, I'm just asking about a place for me to sleep a little bit. So I'm gonna be getting him so you can just get me where to spot me and where I can just get a little bit of pause and make sure that I'm getting a room there. So keep it tuned. Let's go and check where is possible at this kind of the morning. This is approximately, we are in Mwanza, and it's the fastest, talk about whenever you are in the city here, the fastest town you meet at the road while accessing to interior. And that's why I've just stopped, because this is where I'm going to be having much of the accommodation, and that's why we are just heading to a place where it's just necessary, and I think it's just interior of the inside of this kind of the town, so you can just check what's really coming out in terms of this kind of the area. Already guys, the good fact is we have already changed much of the things. Talk about from the lean I've already changed into Tanzanian lean, so I could just access, because we differ in terms of communication, and the communication authority sometimes doesn't allow the other number from the other country to access in this country, so you have to buy a new number that you're going to be using in the same country that you're going to be. So we are just looking east and west and south, so you can just know where is really, you can just get a hotel that you're going to be so fantastic for even if you're going to be a guest going to be coming or a visitor going to be approaching to this kind of an area. Where is it specifically? I don't like much of getting direct to the town, talking about going to be accessing the town from the town, but I'm going to be accessing it from outside the town. That's going to be so a little bit good for me to handle much of 2-3 things at this kind of the rate of the moment. So I'm going to be reaching at this kind of the moment. I don't know what's there. Masunga Lodge. Exactly, Masunga Lodge here. So I'm gonna be getting to the reception to understand, is it really popping out? Is it really good at this kind of the moment? It's just besides the road, and it's not much of highly populated in a way that it's gonna be so noisy or whatever. So I'm gonna be checking inside, so I can just know which kind of the rate, and I talk about the price and the cost of just accessing. You understand here sometimes English is becoming a problem at this kind of the rate. So sometimes you have to make sure that the Swahili, I don't know if I'm going to be speaking a very good Swahili and a fluent Swahili the way they are just speaking, but I'm going to be checking today. Today is today, tomorrow going to be another day, and they're going to be coming to you live, which is one-on-one. Let me put my luggage as very standby, and also we have to be so punctual in this kind of the town here. Sasa unanibebea bro? Unanibebea? Sasa wewe ndo mtalii. Exactly. So guys, let's pop in and check what's really popping out at this kind of the rate, and we understand what's really catered for this kind of the rate and how much does they need. Because guys, if you come here, you don't use Kenya shillings here. It's just Tanzanian shillings. I will be showing you the notes of Tanzanian shillings, and the change rate is a little bit poor, but it's just going to be getting much of the door. So I'm going to be getting to Masuga here. Let me check what's really popping up, because even the display is talking about the beddings are going to be very fantastic. Let me check about it. So I'm going to be coming to you live. Let's get back to this kind of the route. Oh, tunaangalia room eh? Oh, unajua sasa utanielewa, mimi nimetoka Kenya. Utanielewa lugha huku tofauti, changanyi kabisa. Tunachanganyikiwa na lugha zenu huko. Guys, I'm just checking about the beddings here. So guys, Kiko vizuri. Kiko vizuri. Kwa Kiingereza? Unajua kuongea Kiingereza? Sijui. We're going to be getting a little bit of a problem here. So I'm just checking about what's really popping out. So got a Masuga launch, and I'm just checking which kind of the room going to be so fitting. I think the television going to be here a little bit. Mko na Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi mnaitaje? Hiyo. Wi-Fi.
Hachafeni. Ule
mtandao. Hakuna mtandao. Guys, I'm asking about the Wi-Fi here. So there's no Wi-Fi here. Hai, sasa hii shilingi ngapi? 10,000. Guys, whenever you hear about 10,000, 10,000 is 10,000, and it differs. 10,000 in terms of Kenya shillings is gonna be like 500 shillings in terms of Kenya shillings, but here they are above. Some people gonna be asking about 10,000 shillings for a room, or it's gonna be a little bit cheaper. So here, in terms of dollars, they don't do with dollars, do with Tanzanian shillings here. Exactly. So let's begin here and make sure that everything is so good. So I like the area, which is very good. Kuna maji moto iko? Chakula? Amanda jinunulia.
Chakula mpaka
wamefunga jiko. Sasa tutakula aje?
Kukula amna cha huku. Hawapiki siku hizi jioni. Kwa hiyo ataenda akajinunulia huko nje.
Oh, guys, there's no food here. I think it's just sleeping. There's no problem about that one. I want to be checking about that one. And I think the room, I don't want a complicated room at this kind of the rate. But the rooms are so fantastic. Sasa, hii umesema 10,000. Pia hii? Zote zinalingana? Zote ziko sawa? Wow, fantastic. Checking myself here a little bit here. So everything, oh, I like the system here, very nice. This is the system I'm gonna be putting to my house also. So yeah, wow. Sasa tunalipeje sasa? Cash money. I need cash money. So guys, let me sort this kind of the 2-3 things about the beddings, and I'm gonna be coming back again to show you what's really popping out, where the food we can just get, the area which is very near for the food, so you can just eat and check. I'm too hungry, I'm too thirsty. I'm gonna be checking about that one. Somebody talked about okay, we should be taking a lot of water. I'm gonna be commencing and doing such kind of the way. So I don't know which kind of the room is very, very comfortable for me to come out. Which one of the following is the best? I think niko vizuri bana. Zote ziko sawa. Ni gani nzuri? Wewe umechagua gani?
Zote ziko sawa.
Yeah, my. Wacha nini? Yeah. Oh, she has selected this one here. Fantastic. So, wacha wasiniingize vyombo, si ndio? Yeah. Tuziweke ndani. Yeah, guys, I've selected this one here, and I'm gonna be in Swahili they call about kukambi, eh? I'm gonna be making sure that I'm gonna be posing to this kind of the area, and they're gonna be so very good. So I'm gonna be getting outside there for a little bit, and they're gonna be getting me the key so that I can just access much of the things here, and everything gonna be coming to you live, which is one-on-one. Keep it tuned, coming back. Ba mimi si msanii babu. Mimi mwana vlog. Na vlog yani. Guys, back to this kind of the center here. I'm gonna be picking much of a little bit of the chicken here, and they look so characteristically very awesome at this kind of the rate, and they are just very nice. Hey, we have others. Hey. we have every kind of the section here. Talk about from the raw one up to whenever they are. So here we are, guys, and I'm gonna be checking much of the grilled meat. And sasa, guys, in Tanzania here a little bit Kiswahili. We have to communicate in Swahili. That's a little bit of a problem here. So nataka grill hizi. Mishkaki. We call it mishkaki. And umesema shingapi babu? Moja. 1000 Kenya, 1000 Tanzanian shillings here. So na kuku umesema shingapi? 24. Chicken is 24. Au amesema shingapi? 24. 24,000. Guys, we wonder about this kind of the figures they're just putting out, but it's just Tanzanian currency, and I'm gonna be buying in. Talk about I have already changed much of the currency into Tanzanian shillings, so I can just buy this kind of the good moment here. Sasa unapaswa basi katikati kumoja basi. I want a half. So nusu shingapi? 12. 12,000. The currency of Tanzania is a little bit giving me a headache time. 12,000. If it could be in Kenya shillings, it could be something else. Exactly. So na vibanzi hapa shingapi baba? Vibanzi hapa shingapi? Chips. 3,000. Hizi hapa hivyo. 2,000. In Kenya shillings, that's gonna be 100 shillings. Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna be picking a half of it, and so they can just package, because the hotel that I've just picked there, you're gonna not have much of the meals there. So I'm gonna be buying my own here, and some 2-3 squashes and much water, so I could just make sure that we are just having this kind of the day. So we have just landed, and I'm in a journey to Zambia, and I'm gonna be making sure I'm gonna be spotting each and every kind of the site, so I could just be running very smooth to Zambia. So I'm just passing by, because my ticket is just, talk about my passport is just pumped around 7 days only in Tanzania. I should have evacuated Tanzania with an immediate effect. That's why I'm just here, logistically good. So I'm still having a lot of journey to go, and gonna be coming to you live, which is one-on-one, so I can just be handling much of the time. So I'm gonna be having another spot, another stop until I reach on Monday or Tuesday. I'm gonna be now out of Tanzania, so I could just be reaching to Zambia. So that's why I'm gonna be getting much of the good meals here, so I can just get myself eating here. I like the grilled chicken here, and also we have the grilled meat here. It's gonna be very careful, this guy, and it's just marinated, very awesome. Marination is very awesome, over high level, and it's gonna be so awesome. Iko bit ndugu yangu? Oh, hilo hapo. Ama hii naiva? Oh, hii naiva. Geuza. Oh, it has to be now grilled more properly. Exactly. So we are just waiting for that, and this kind of talk about the environment is just very awesome. It's very sweet and very gorgeous at this kind of the moment. Sasa tuniwekea chips babu. Umesema za 2,000. Chips za 2,000 hapa. Sasa hivi mnavihitaji sasa hivi. Mnazihitaji? Mzuzu. Zilizoiva. The already ripe banana gonna be hey. Guys, I've never tasted that one, but mnauzaje hizi? 1,500. Moja. Kamoja hivi 1,500 kamoja. Ndugu yangu hiyo. Hiyo bei iko juu. Hata kama pesa ya Tanzania nimeichanganyichanganyikiwa kidogo, hiyo ni juu. 1,000 chukua basi. Moja babu. Sasa ndizi singeniuzia basi nimeiva. Hapo niuzie. Hiyo hiva ni shingapi? Ni hiyo bei moja. Ni hiyo. Aikia Mungu. Exactly. Sasa na mishkaki basi niweke mishkaki kama 5,000 basi. So I gonna be, these are just the ones that are just be getting here, and it's just you can call it like a motel, or you can call it fast food, and you can just come and pick and leave with an immediate effect, and come out with you're gonna be subjected into, we can call them a little bit like packing and just leaving. So it's fast food here. So if you're gonna be needing much of the donuts, whatever gonna be at the other side there, and much of the cakes and whatever, but I don't like the wheat. So we're gonna be dealing with the meats today, and very awesome here. Exactly. So guys, gonna be having the packages here. So keep it tuned again. I'm gonna be getting to know what's really popping out in this kind of the environment and understanding the real genotypic area where I am at this kind of the rate.
Tomato, chili.
It's so nice, guys. It's marinated nice, and salt is not bad. Talk about the ingredients I've just used. A little bit of paprika, some of the black pepper, a little bit of them here, and it's not bad. It has been marinated for a couple of a little bit moments. It's just making sense. It's nice. I like the food here. And
I like food lounge. Food lounge. Sasa food lounge to Mwanza.
Food lounge to Mwanza.
Tanzania.
Oh, Kisesa food lounge here. It's
a
fast food, man.
It's a Mangana Mbuya.
Mangana Mbuya.
Mangana Mbuya kile.
Language barrier a little bit, but we have to understand it's really they're popping out here. Sometimes it's gonna be something which is new to much of the people, and they could not even understand how is it. Unanipimia bro? Ushapima? Chips? Okay, kitu iko sawa. Haya, bili yako shilingi ngapi bro? 21. Jumla? Era Kenya Tanzania? Era Kenya Tanzania?
Tanzania. Ndio live mlambe.
Ndio sasa ukimukera pia Kenya.
Kenya mwana ni kutigara.
Mohe.
Kenya mwana ni Kenya mwiyo. Anatoka meja Tanzania. Okay. Kani wewe mkuruhusu bro.
Yeah.
Mali mkuruhusu muhimu.
Hapa sasa unajua mahesabu ina change.
Au mbara kuibe.
Hakuna kuipo hapa bro. You wave. Yeah, we are getting a little bit of judgment here, and it's making sense. Thank you. Guys, the money is now changing. In Tanzanian shilling. Usijali, kesho bado siku ndogo. Ndio maana unauza hapa.
Waferi.
Wangekujali hatisho usiku. Tunakwambia tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow another. Guys, back again to the room, and already I've just got much of talk about the meals, and before the day could just have an end, a little bit at this kind of the time, we're going to be making sure that everything is coming to you live, which is one-on-one. So here we are, a little bit much of the music is coming from this kind of the area, and sometimes that's why I talk about I'm gonna be getting where much of the lounges are, so you cannot have this kind of the disruption of much of the music a little bit. But it's gonna be so good because I've already selected this kind of an area. It's a little bit not interiorly of the town. It's gonna be outside a little bit where minimization of the noise is, and also not much of the crackatooing of the moment at that kind of the rate. So here we are at this kind of the point, and what's the aim of right now, and where are we heading at this kind of the time, and what's really popping out, and what's really the schedule of having this kind of the day getting forward at this kind of the time. Already we are here for advancement and also a tour to make sure that we're going to be having visitation to as many countries as possible, as we have just already oriented ourselves that we're going to be having and commencing the journey. It has commenced today, and the aim of the journey is to make sure that we're going to be getting adventure and understanding, because even the more you move from one place to another, it's the more you get experience and the more you get, because there's a time Dimwango told me that it's going to be a little bit getting hard, because she told me that, oh Gintu, I want to, one day you have to experience this kind of the journeys we're going to be talking about, getting from one place to another, and see how rough it is. So we're going to be checking the roughness that it is just inside, because also much of the people tells me that, oh Gintu, you're going to be so crazy, this kind of the ventures, how it's going to be, but we are in for it. so we can just make it happen, because we want to venture and get to the other countries so we can just see how are they preparing much of the things, how are they doing their own jobs, how are they advancing, and what's the advancement technologies there, how is the currency, because sometimes we're going to be stacking onto the country talking about, oh, we only know the USD, we only know the Kenya shillings. What about the other currencies like Tanzania shillings, Ugandan shillings, talk about the rupees, how they work, and each and kind of the country, which kind of the obstacles we're going to be passing through so we can just reach the destination that we need, and how is the mode of transport, how is the room, how much of the people are received. And here in Tanzania, it's one of the humblest country that even a police can come to you and talk about, please, I want to arrest you. It's not like Kenya. You find yourself hit like Cherokee drum and you are just put in Mariam like Safari Rally. Then you are just hit and you are told that, oh, this kind of the person who was depleted in the cell and hit the head onto the cell walls and just died a little bit. No, here everything is just smooth because everything is just experience, and we're gonna be getting that kind of the wisdom, talking about how are people treated and how we can even treat much of the people also. And that is the good fact of handling this kind of 2-3 messes here and there. And because of this kind of the adventures, much of the people thought about, oh, Gintu should be there in the village every time. No, we have to advance sometimes. We have to go out. We have to go and check, which is giving people sleepless nights that, oh, Gintu was just here today, and right now Gintu gonna be getting to Zambia, getting to Malawi, getting to Mozambique, getting to Congo, and eventually gonna be getting to Ibrahim Traore. And this is the journey that you have just commenced today, and much of the people will be there to make sure they're going to be watching this kind of the video, get subscribing, like, sharing, and selling, so we can just make sure that we are just grooving together as a team. That is making much of the people have a hypertrait and talk about, oh, why is Gintu getting to this kind of the point of the moment. And right now you might be hearing much of the things talk about, oh, Gintu is paid, I don't know, to do whatever. That's just quagmires of the day. They will just give the evidence, and that's what sometimes I talk about. People are just lunatic. They don't understand what's really popping out. And I said it once upon a time that whoever likes Gintu the way he is, and whoever likes whoever, they like them the way they are. I cannot force that, oh, that kind of the person, because he's supporting that kind of the person, should bring myself very close so I can just be a part of the program. No, that will be just the childishness. The good fact is, if you find a way of getting forward, let's go with it. Because opportunity comes once. There's no day again we'll talk about Gintu will be just moving from this kind of the country to another country. And are we gonna be, because I was born the same village, studied the same village, talk about the primary school, I started the same village high school. So am I going even a little bit, I was about to start the same village in terms of the college. I worked the same village. So how are we gonna be experiencing? This is gonna be a very best experience that we're gonna be handling outside here. And people have to understand that people diverse, and people change the attitudes, and people change in a way forward. What am I talking about at this kind of the time? People, they think about for them to talk about, oh, Gintu gonna be this way. They think about every time we will be rhyming together that, oh, Gintu, where are you? Let's go to a club. Oh, Gintu, where are you? Let's rush. I'm no longer that way. Gintu, I'm just making my own things to get forward, and I'm always doing my own things very properly in a way that there's no much of a leaderment, there's no much of endowment that, oh, I have to go and suppress this kind of the person. No, I don't have that kind of the time. The ultimate way of us to get forward is a way of understanding yourself and knowing what really is popping out. I know right now, because I'm out of the village, they will be talking about nastic, be talking about lunatic language, but we have to progress. I'm not hurt with such kind of the small petty issues here and there, because we understand at the legitimate time of handling much of the matters, we have to understand ourselves in which kind of the way we are, in which kind of the scenario we are, and how we're going to be protruding much of the things. Because when a person is told the truth that, oh, this is how it is, me, whenever you talk about Gintu is this way, I don't deny. You have said it already, so how am I going to express myself that you have already said it? It's something that they don't have that kind of the courtesy, and that is the legitimate way. So if this kind of the time, I'm gonna be making sure that I'm getting to different kind of the positions, because I have a long journey to go, and still I have 6 more days in Tanzania to make sure that I'm experiencing. Now I'm gonna be having like 5 or 6 days in Tanzania to make sure I should have vanished, because the stamps are indicating that I should be here for 7 days and I should have evacuated out of the country with immediate effect with no trace. And the good fact is I'm going to be using a public means from moving one place to another, venturing and showing you if you're going to be coming as a visitor into Tanzania, how are you going to be welcomed, how are you going to be working, how are you going to be doing. Because the first thing when you land into, if you have landed to Kenya or you have landed into Tanzania, the first thing you're just told is make sure that you have a lean, talk about a network line that is that's just using the same network that is progressing in the country you're going to be getting. Like in Tanzania here, I have a new number already, and much of the people in WhatsApp, they don't have much of talking about, oh Ginto, how can I be getting you? WhatsApp is always there, and the same number, it's just working in the WhatsApp. And also I have a new number that if I want to call any kind of the person or help me to chat in WhatsApp, I'm going to be using WhatsApp muchly to much of the people. Whoever wants to find me, we just chat as long as everything is just in concern. It does the work. The WhatsApp doesn't change. It's there the way it is, but they talk about now buying data bundles, because I don't have the Wi-Fi here, talking about the Wi-Fi whatever. Now I have to make sure that I'm just progressing. That is the uniquest way of getting forward. From that kind of the point, also I'm going to be talking about when you land into Tanzania, the best thing that you're going to be doing is change the currency that you're going to be having into Tanzanian shillings, because here we are in Mwanza, they cannot accept Kenya shillings. What do I mean at that kind of the rate? Kenyan shillings are just not working further than if you can go to the bank. And if you land very late into the country or the city or whatever the town you'll be, you'll get things getting crooked, because of what? Banks should have been closed because of the weekend. Like tomorrow gonna be the weekend, the banks are not operating, and you have Kenyan shillings who will be changing for you. So you should have at least a little bit money that will keep you running in Tanzania. Then after now running much of the things in Tanzania, you should evacuate from Tanzania with an immediate effect when you find that you're going to be getting to another country. And also to another country, you should have the currency of another country. So that's what I'm going to be doing, the exchange of the money. Also, it's going to be a new experience of now tackling the money exchange. Talking about from US dollars, we're going to be changing much of the money into US dollars. So it could just be, it's a global change rate of the US dollar. So you're going to be helping me to change from one kind of the currency to another currency. So they can just make sure that I'm progressing from one country to another. And also, I'm going to be having much of the content coming from supporting the charity, because I'm going to be supporting one of the biggest charities in Zambia also. And it's just called Mama Tande Foundation, which is going to be coming out, and many foundations that they're going to be part of the line, so they can just make sure that we are progressing with that kind of the nature. And the best thing is, as more as we go to that kind of an extent, it's the more we're going to be getting back to talk about Kenya, so I can just be supporting as many as possible. And I'm going to be coming with much of the luggages from each and every kind of the section to make sure that we are suppressing and also giving to the boy child whatever they're going to be into the village that need much of the help and much of the way of progressing. Talk about the funds, the support, and that is what we are just looking for. Right now, it's not a matter of talking about individual. No, individuality was there, and that is what much of the people think about. Gintu will be talking about, oh, Gintu is the individual. I'm never selfish. I'm telling much of the people, I've never eaten somebody's money in talking about somebody's money in vain. No day. And I go with even today, before I could just leave from Nyabohanse village, there's a person, thank you very much, the guy who sent me the money, so I can just deliver it to the there's a boy I made talk about, there's a disabled guy I made a video, and somebody has already talked about you're going to be buying much of the diapers there, so they can just be using, and much of the shopping. I've already delivered such kind of the money, which is $50, that kind of the spot. And also even I have the message from the mom was saying that let me check that kind of the message, what is really because I was traveling and it was very hectic for me to read much of the charts. Let me check. The mom, she's here. Let me see. Yeah. The mom, she's here. She was chatting with me very nicely, and it's just written at that kind of the moment. She's saying that Aki sijui ni kushukuru. I don't know how to express my happiness. Aki nimeteseka sana, nimeyapitia mengi. She has been struggling and she has passed through many obstacles on the way. Matusi kuito majina all this way, and she has been called names from east, west and south, and Ginto has stood there into a way that I could just balance that kind of the reaction so as it can be picked in a way that is very nicely, and it's just God who sent me to that kind of the position, because they were struggling and suffering, and I helped where I could. And somebody has already, because today when I delivered this kind of the money to them, because I could not get that time because I was traveling, it could be very hard for me to do much of the video and them some of the shoppings to go there, because it could take much of the time, and I had to disappear from the village with an immediate effect. And she's just still expressing, I have been crying to my God to remember me. Amekutumia uyaone mapito yangu. God has used me so as I could just see her sufferings, and at that kind of the rate, that's why I went there to help. And na wewe asiwai kuacha, and God should not leave me in any kind of the hardship that you're going to be passing. Right now, much of the people are having much of the problem sending Gintu A, B, C, D and talking much of the crooked outside there. The good fact is Gintu is not like them, and Gintu will never be like them. And that's who I am. I can get my money and support people with my money. That is the fact. And whoever wants to support Gintu and make it, because right now, tomorrow, you're going to be checking much of the toilets that we are talking about. Gintu is out of the village, but the toilets that I started, they're gonna be roofed and also be put much of the doors. I'm just out of there, and much of the things is settled already. Talk about the G Castle is still under the construction, and everything is just continuing. The whole of this kind of the week, they're gonna be so many people there working at that kind of the rate, talking about they're gonna be handling much of the matters east, west and south. That is who is Gintu, and much of the people, they know that this is the legacy for us to make. Sometimes you have much of the videos that we have to change. Not every time you're gonna be talking about having a dull moment. No, sometimes you have to look for the content east, west and south. And I don't have whenever I want to know that I want to cover something, I have to go exactly where I know that the coverage is gonna be coming from. And somebody's talking about Gintu is abusing much of the people who have been abused, because if you are abused and you can just align Gintu in cell and talk about this is it. So whoever is talking about Gintu has been paid with who? Why are you not paid then? If you Gintu is paid, why are you not paid? It's just hungriness of talking about why is Gintu making this kind of the progress and are not making it. And it's something that it's very awkward that Gintu is supporting Mayani in a way that they should not treat him like a trash, because if Gintu could not be around, Mayani could be treated like a trash and be thrown into unseenable hole that will never come out again. But the little fact is we have to support each other and make it happen. I understand they hate Gintu because not everybody likes Gintu at that kind of the rate. So here we are back to the region. Much of the things in the village, let them stay there because they're going to be handling their own sources. Let me get out of them, then I see if they're going to be talking about Gintu again and again and again. I don't know, but I'm just heading forward. I don't have backwardness, I have forwardness always, and marching forward is the way to progress. So the little fact that you're going to be talking about at this kind of the moment is keep on supporting, subscribe, like, share, comment. We are now starting a new journey called the G Journeys, and it's going to be coming to you, so you can just be surprising and getting much of the people to know what's really happening at the grassroots of each and every kind of the country. The pathway, how is the passport orientation, how is everything, how is the stamp, and how are you going to be moving from one place to another. We are starting the journey right now, and now we have commenced the journey. I'm going to be coming up to the Europe, US, wherever you are. Gintu going to be reaching to the spot you're going to be, and we can just be interrogating and making it happen, because this is the starting point, not yet, because things going to be coming to you live, which is one-on-one. And when the real G is out, everything has to happen very meticulously, and other shenanigans than telenovela, they're gonna be resting in peace at the pit holes that they don't have much of the progress. That is the way we're gonna be making it, and we're gonna be striving to make it happen. So guys, back to Tanzania. How is Tanzania? Much of the people gonna be asking about. Today is just landing, and I've been traveling for several hours, talk about 6 hours until I've just reached this kind of the point, because this kind of the vehicle I boarded, I talked about we're gonna be picking a bus from Sirare, and also we reach at a point whereby I thought there is a place called Kirumi before approaching, when you are coming to Mwanza, before you get even to a road crossing to Musoma and getting to Mwanza. I got a place called Kirumi where there is much of interrogation, talking about they're gonna be checking who doesn't have a passport, you are Kenyan, which kind of the country. But when they just came to the bus, I look alike other people, talk about they never noticed that Gintu is a Kenyan. So I always pass through, so I look alike with this kind of the people, because we are Africans. Nobody can talk about it like you look like an African. Even right now in Tanzania, I'm trying my best to talk the way they are talking in their own Swahili, so as I could just reflect like them, because if they know that I'm coming from another place like Kenya, whatever, they're gonna be talking or increasing much of the prices, or being too expensive for me to handle much of other things. So I have to act like I'm a Tanzanian, and whoever gonna be asking me, I'm gonna be talking about, even I have a line of Tanzania, I'm gonna be calling you, I have the network of Tanzania, and everything gonna be running. So the good fact is that even the line that you always pick, you buy, so as you can just use it in Tanzania. It's like Safaricom in Kenya, it's called Vodacom. It's one of the most broadened network that is just broadcasting much of the things here and there, and giving the network providation and to much of the people, and it's the loved one, and it's just the one that is having more, it's more popular than other lanes in Tanzania here. So we are now landing into Tanzania. What is the little hope about it? How is the food? How are you being uptaken? How is sleeping? How is security? That's what we want to know. And also we're going to be venturing to know what's really happening to the grassroots. How are people striving? Are they like Kenya? Or is Kenya's life more durable? Is Kenya's life a little bit different from Tanzanian life? That is what we're going to be discovering and understanding at this kind of the moment, so you can just know really what's really popping out from Tanzania and popping out from each and every kind of the country. Everything will be just segmented, but the problem that we're going to be having here in Tanzania, it's very, very expensive to buy data bundles, and it's not like Kenya. You can just use 10 Kenya shillings and buy as many data as you can, and 1 GB at 10 shillings. And here in Tanzania, you have to use like 3,000 Tanzanian shillings, which is approximately like is it like 150 Kenya shillings for you to buy 1 GB. So it will be a little bit difficult for us to upload much of the video. Even this kind of video gonna be coming, it will be so hard for us to upload it and coming to you live and watching it. So it needs a lot of money, so as you can just make sure that you are uploading a video which is very high. That's why you see much of the people are uploading a video of 20 to not passing more than 28 minutes, because of you understand, the more the GB there will be, the more the money you will spend at this kind of the moment. So as you can just make a 5 GB, 4 GB, 6 GB video to go out. And that's why you're going to be minimizing much of the content. You're going to be shorter but clear. And that is the way we're going to be getting forward. Keep it tuned, keep it locked. Much of the things are going to be coming to you live, which is one-on-one. Let's get forward and make it happen. Pull up.